Hello, it is I. Now many people say that Forza games on the Xbox 360 are better than those released on later generations, and I don't think this is down to nostalgia, because I tried some old Forza games for the first time on an Xbox 360 and some of the features in those games completely blew me away. And that's exactly what I'm covering today, so let's get to this video. First came out in 2010 and it was so revolutionary at the time, and even today it's still pretty crazy. And you know, so many video games at the time were integrating Kinect into their game so they can use the Kinect whilst playing the game. And Turn 10 were like, hey, you know what, we should do that for our next game. So with their next game, which was Motorsport 4, they integrated Kinect, and oh my days, the features which came with Kinect were incredible. They were so impressive. I mean, for starters, there were like voice commands, so you can say stuff like, oh, Xbox, go to the garage, or go to quick race, or go to split screen, or go to auto vista or something. You can basically tell it what to do, which at the time was so impressive. But you could also use your hands as a steering wheel. Yep, you can like sort of hold an invisible steering wheel in front of you, and it detected your hands and it actually steered the car how you steered your hands, if you get what I mean. And yeah man, this worked really well, though I wouldn't really recommend racing like this because it is so tiring for your arms. But as a fun little gimmick, it was actually pretty enjoyable. What is that 4GT doing? Also, with the Kinect, there was incredible head tracking, meaning with the Auto Vista feature in the game, you can literally look around your car by walking around your living room or wherever you are playing your game. Also, you can use the hands to open the doors, turn on the headlights, open the engine bay. It was so impressive. And also with the head tracking, you can turn your head and it actually turns the character's head in the game. So if you look left, then your character looks left. If you look right, then your character looks right. It was so ahead of its time. But nowadays, Kinect is basically forgotten about. It's such a back in the day sort of thing. And when they reintroduced it with the Xbox One, well, that sort of flopped, and with the new Series X, there is no Kinect support whatsoever. So yeah man, the Kinect support on the Forza Motorsport 4 was absolutely insane, so yeah man, rest in peace Kinect, you will be missed. Forza Motorsport 2, I believe, was the first Forza game to introduce customization to the franchise, and oh my days, they did the customization in that game so good. And we of course got so many aftermarket customization parts, which was amazing, and of course we got Forza Aero, but the Forza Aero in Motorsport 2 was actually pretty cool, as we saw Forza rear bumpers, and the bumpers actually sort of integrated the exhaust into the bumper itself, and oh my days, it looked amazing. I mean, the 350Z, which is the cover car of that game, even had Forza bumpers on the cover, which is amazing. I mean, Forza made these bumpers themselves, which is so creative of them. But nowadays in Forza games, the Forza Aero is cringe and nobody wants to put it on their car. I mean, the only time people put Forza bumpers on their cars nowadays is for performance reasons. Nobody puts it on because it visually looks good, because it just doesn't. So yeah man, fingers crossed that these bumpers do eventually return into the Forza franchise again, because oh my days, this looks so cool. Now, one of the most requested features in new Forza games is of course interior customization. But did you know that interior customization was already seen in the old Forza games? Well, it was. Because in Forza Motorsport 3, weight reduction actually removes the passenger seat, which is so cool. So yeah man, you can visually strip out the interiors in the old games, and oh my days, I love this feature so much. But in Forza Horizon 5, well, you can only strip out the interior on the Plymouth Cuda and the BMW M3 GTS, because those are car models from the old games. But in every other car, I believe you cannot actually strip out the interior, which is stupid. Like, well, why? If you can allow this on 2 cars, then why can't you allow it on more cars? Like, we absolutely love this feature. So yeah, man, I really wish we could do this on more cars in this game, because I would absolutely love to build a drift car without a passenger seat. Oh my days, that would look so race car, man. Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox 360 is considered to be one of the worst Forza games ever made. And when it was essentially the same as Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox One, but it was so unpolished. There were trees on the cliffs, the textures were so weird, some parts of the map were locked off, and the graphics were abysmal. They were so bad. Honestly, Forza Horizon 1 had better graphics, but there's one thing which Forza Horizon 2 does better on the Xbox 360 than the Xbox One, and that is the entrance to the Castelletto Festival, because in the Xbox One version, it's sort of cordoned off by a gate, meaning you can't really drive through there, but in the Xbox 360 version, you can fully drive through there. There is no gate blocking you. So yep, it's a small little thing which the 360 version did better, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Well done, Forza Horizon 2 on Xbox 360. Okay, now it's no secret that the damage model in old Forza games was absolutely insane. It's miles clear of the new Forza games because the new Forza games, what is this? But if you compare this to Forza Motorsport 2, if you crash hard enough, then bumpers can tear off, the bonnet or your hood can completely crumple up, and glass actually shatters in this game. Yep, if you crash hard enough, then your windscreen can completely come off. But in these new Forza games, well, the glass sort of cracks and, well, that's about it. I mean, honestly, I drive with the damage off in this game because that's how bad the damage model is in this game. Honestly, it's so cringe. Okay, now, yes, I know this isn't really Forza's fault, it's the fault of the car manufacturers because they don't want their cars being damaged. So you can't really blame Forza for this, but this is still something which the Xbox 360 version did better, so yeah. Now, in Forza Motorsport 1 and Forza Motorsport 2, the car models were sort of like, whoa! That was scary. Anyways, the car models were pretty low quality in those games, so Forza decided to update them for Motorsport 3, and oh my days, they did a pretty good job of it as they added a lot more detail, the cars were so much more accurate, and they also added transparent grills to certain cars in the game. Meaning you can look through the mesh and you can see the exposed exhaust system, and oh my days, it looked so good. You saw this on cars like the Zonda, the F50, the F40, the Enzo, the Carrera GT, it was so nice. Now you might think that in new Forza games they would add a lot more detail and make the exhaust system more detailed, but instead, well, what the hell was that on the road? Anyways, but instead, they didn't do that. Instead, they made it worse and they made the grills opaque. Yep, as you can see, the mesh grill on the Zonda is opaque. It's basically just fully black, but during the Xbox 360 era of Forza games, yeah, it was clear. You could see the exhaust system and it was so detailed. Whoa! That scared me. Okay, my finger hurts now. I was holding a wheel when I died. But if you compare this to every other racing game out there like Gran Turismo, Need for Speed and even The Crew, the grills are transparent in those games and that makes Forza look so outdated now. Like, I thought Forza's all about the detail and oh, we had the most realistic looking game. But as you can see with the car models, that is not the case. So I really hope that the transparent grills do return in new Forza games because oh my days, they made the cars look so aggressive. Forza Motorsport 2 introduced a brand new feature into the game which was a game changer which everybody loved, and that was sorting the wheels by the brand they come from. Oh, what a genius feature, sorting the wheels into the brands they come from, such a genius feature. Honestly, this feature made finding wheels so easy because, I don't know, if you want something like RPF1s, well you go to NK, and if you want T37s then go into Race and there you are, there are your wheels. Honestly, this made finding wheels so easy, but nowadays in new Forza games you have this stupid system where the wheels are put into multi-piece style wheels, specialized style wheels or sports style wheels. And honestly, to this day, nearly a decade of playing Forza games, I still struggle to find wheels in this game. I mean, I have a wheel in my mind and then I'll look for the wheel and be like, oh, it's not in this section, so I'll need to go to the next section, and I'll look through there and I'm like, oh, it's not in that section, I need to go to the next section, and I'll look through that one and I'm like, oh, it's not in that section, and I need to go to the first one, and I go to the first one, and it turns out into the first one, and I'm like, why? Like, it's such a stupid system. Why would you do this, Forza? Bring back the old system, please. Now, something incredible we saw in Forza Motorsport 4 was, of course, car football. Okay, Americans, it's not soccer. Stop calling it soccer, you dick. But yeah, we actually saw car football in the game, and it was essentially like Rocket League, except you couldn't get your cars to jump or fly. I mean, thinking about it, it's very similar to the car football which Top Gear played, like, you know, with the Toyota Aigos and the Volkswagen Fox. It's basically like that. Yeah, in the new Forza Motorsport game, we do not have car football, and in Forza Horizon 5, with a football stadium and a football in the middle and an amazing place to play car football, you cannot play car football, which is very stupid. Like, how do you have a stadium but you can't play car football? Like, what are you doing? I mean, honestly, having a football stadium in this game but not being able to play football is basically like Microsoft Flight Simulator adding a new plane into the game which you cannot fly. Oh wait, they actually did that. But yeah, man, nearly 2 years after the release of Horizon 5, how we do not have a car football mini game is absolutely crazy. It's criminal.